Imagine looking up at the night sky and realizing that no matter how much we advance in technology, we still know so little about the universe. It's like opening a gigantic book where we can only read a few pages, while the rest remains blank. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. The great mysteries of space that, to this day, even the brightest scientists haven't been able to decipher. Some of them are so intriguing that they seem straight out of science fiction. But don't be fooled. They're real. They're out there, and they continue to challenge our understanding. Think about it with me. Humanity has already set foot on the moon, sent probes beyond the solar system, taken photos of black holes. And yet, the questions just keep piling up. The universe seems to be playing hide-and-seek with us, revealing one clue here, another there, but always leaving the feeling that we're far from discovering the whole picture. And maybe that's the most fascinating part. After all, who hasn't been hypnotized staring at the stars, wondering what might exist beyond what our eyes can reach? Are we alone? Do we really understand how the cosmos works? Hold on tight, because in the next few minutes we're going to explore some of the most incredible enigmas of space that continue to leave scientists scratching their heads to this day. Now tell me, have you ever wondered what the biggest mystery of the universe might be? Now let me ask you, have you ever heard of something called dark matter? It sounds like the name of a superhero movie, but it's one of the greatest enigmas of modern science. Imagine this. Everything we see in the universe, planets, stars, galaxies, cosmic dust, represents only a small part, about 5% of what really exists. The rest? Invisible, mysterious, and completely out of our reach. It's like being at a huge party, but only seeing a few people dancing without realizing that most of the crowd is hidden behind the curtains. Scientists know this dark matter is there because it exerts gravity. It's like an invisible hand that holds galaxies together, preventing them from simply falling apart in space. The most intriguing thing is that no one knows exactly what it's made of. It doesn't reflect light, doesn't emit energy, doesn't interact with anything in the way we know. It's almost like trying to study a ghost with a turned-off flashlight. And yet, without it, the universe we know simply wouldn't make sense. Now hold on to this. Some researchers believe that unraveling dark matter could completely change the way we understand reality. Have you ever thought about what if we discover that the universe is much stranger than we imagine? And if there's such a thing as dark matter, could there also be dark energy? Well, that's exactly where we're heading with the next mystery. If dark matter already seems confusing, just wait until you hear about dark energy. This is one of those concepts that makes anyone scratch their head, even the scientists who've dedicated their entire lives to studying the cosmos. Imagine the following. Instead of the universe slowing down over time like a car running out of fuel, it's doing just the opposite. It's accelerating faster and faster. It's as if someone stepped on the cosmic accelerator, and no one can explain where this mysterious force comes from. Astronomers discovered this by observing distant galaxies. By measuring the light that reaches us, they realized that space isn't just expanding, it's expanding at an ever-increasing rate. And to explain this behavior, the hypothesis of dark energy emerged, a kind of invisible fuel that makes up nearly 70% of the universe. Now think about it, 70%. In other words, most of the cosmos is dominated by something we can't see, touch, or comprehend. It's like living inside an immense ocean without knowing what it's made of. And the strangest part is that, without this dark energy, the universe might have collapsed in on itself or stopped growing long ago. It's both a threat and a blessing at the same time. But here's the question. If we don't know what dark energy is, could it change the ultimate fate of the universe? Now hold on to this idea. If the universe is accelerating its expansion more and more, what will be the outcome of this story? Scientists call this the ultimate fate of the cosmos, and the truth is there are several theories, but no definitive answer. One of the most striking hypotheses is the so-called Big Rip, or in plain Portuguese, the Great Tear. Imagine space expanding so fast that, at some distant point, galaxies would drift away from each other, then stars would be separated, and even atoms would unravel. It would literally be the universe coming apart piece by piece until nothing remains but dispersed energy. But there's also another possibility, the Big Crunch. In this version, instead of expanding forever, the universe could one day start to contract. Everything would draw closer together, as if the entire cosmos were being sucked into a tiny point, just like what happened in the Big Bang, but in reverse. And it doesn't stop there. There's still the big freeze, the great freeze. In this scenario, the expansion doesn't destroy anything explosively, but slowly dilutes the energy of the stars until the universe becomes a cold, dark, and silent place. Now tell me, which of these versions do you find the most terrifying? The universe tearing apart, imploding, or freezing into eternity? And while we reflect on this distant future, let's bring our gaze back to an enigma even closer to us. Black holes, true cosmic monsters. Imagine a region of space so powerful that nothing can escape it, not even light. That's what we're talking about when we mention black holes. They're like invisible cosmic vacuum cleaners capable of swallowing everything that passes too close. But the most impressive thing is that we still know very little about what really happens inside them. Scientists believe a black hole is born when a giant star reaches the end of its life and collapses under its own gravity. From then on, a region called the event horizon forms, a kind of cosmic point of no return. If something crosses that line, it never comes back. Now the big question is, what exists at the center of a black hole? The theory says there might be a singularity, a point where the laws of physics simply stop working. It's like trying to apply the rules of our world in a place that follows a completely different manual. And here's the most intriguing part. Could black holes be portals to other universes? Some scientists have raised this hypothesis, and although it sounds like science fiction, the truth is, we have no way to prove otherwise. Think about it. What would happen if someone somehow crossed through a black hole? Would they be crushed instantly or transported to some unimaginable place? And speaking of invisible things that defy logic, there's another mystery that leaves astronomers intrigued. Supermassive black holes, which are millions of times larger than our sun. If regular black holes are already frightening, wait until you meet their giant siblings, supermassive black holes. These cosmic colossuses can have millions or even billions of times the mass of our sun. And the most curious thing is that almost every known galaxy, including the Milky Way, has one of these sleeping monsters at its center. The one in our galaxy, for example, is called Sagittarius A. It's more than 26,000 light-years away from Earth. But even so, it influences the movement of the stars orbiting around it. It's like a silent conductor, directing the cosmic dance without us being able to see it directly. But here's the big question. How did these giants come to be? After all, for a black hole to form, it requires the collapse of a star. But no known star would be large enough to give rise to something so colossal right in the first few billion years of the universe. So how is it possible that supermassive black holes already existed when the cosmos was still young? Some theories suggest they may have formed from the direct collapse of enormous gas clouds without going through a star phase. Others bet that they grew by devouring matter at absurd speeds. But to this day, no one is certain, and the doubt only grows when we observe distant galaxies and find signs of black holes even more monstrous than the ones we know. Now think about it with me. If these gigantic black holes are at the heart of galaxies, could they play a fundamental role in their very creation? How curious. For a long time, scientists thought black holes were just consequences of galaxies, as if they emerged after the galaxies were already formed. But recent research raises an even bolder hypothesis. What if it's the other way around? What if supermassive black holes were key pieces in the birth of the galaxies themselves? Just imagine, at the center of an immense cloud of gas and dust, a gigantic black hole begins to form. Its powerful gravity pulls everything around it, and this process may have helped shape the entire galaxy around it. It's like the hub of a wheel, where the spokes organize to give form to the whole. And there's more. Observations with modern telescopes show that there's a direct relationship between the mass of a black hole and the size of the galaxy it's in. It's as if they grow together, in a kind of cosmic partnership that we still don't fully understand. Now, the most fascinating thing is to think that, without these colossal black holes, the Milky Way, where we live, might not even exist in the form we know it. In other words, The same phenomenon that seems to devour everything may have been essential for creating stars, planet, and even us. But if black holes hold so many secrets, the universe has another mystery that's even louder, literally. I'm talking about the mysterious signals coming from deep space which sound like messages from another civilization. Now picture the scene. Giant radio telescopes scattered around the world suddenly pick up a pulse of energy from some distant point in the universe. A strong, short signal that lasts only a few milliseconds and then vanishes. That's what we call FRBs, fast radio bursts or rapid radio bursts. The most intriguing thing is that no one knows for sure what causes these signals. Some scientists believe they could be the result of highly magnetized neutron stars, known as magnetars. Others think it might be something completely new, a phenomenon we still don't understand. And of course, there's always that possibility that lets the imagination run wild. Could they be transmissions from another civilization? The fact is that FRBs are extremely powerful. To give you an idea, in a few milliseconds, they release more energy than the sun does in several days. And since they come from absurdly great distances, it's like hearing a whisper from the other side of the universe, but in the form of a cosmic explosion. Some of these signals appear only once, like single shots. Others, however, repeat at mysterious intervals, as if coming from a source that's trying to get our attention. Now think about this. If we manage to decipher the origin of these signals, could we be on the verge of one of the greatest discoveries in human history? And since we're talking about sounds and mysterious signals, let's move on to another fascinating enigma: the search for life beyond Earth, a mystery that still lacks a definitive answer. Now tell me, are we really alone in the universe? This is, without a doubt, one of humanity's oldest and most intriguing questions. The vastness of the cosmos is so absurd that it seems unlikely that Earth is the only place where life has flourished. But to this day, no definitive proof has been found. Scientists have already detected planets in so-called habitable zones, regions where the temperature could allow for the existence of liquid water. Just in our galaxy, the Milky Way, it's estimated that there are billions of Earth-like planets. There are planets galore, and yet, we still have no answer. The famous Fermi paradox sums up this contradiction well. If the universe is so vast and full of planets, why haven't we found clear signs of life yet? Are we looking in the wrong way? Do intelligent civilizations simply not want to be found? Or, worse, did they already exist and are gone now? Space missions search for biosignatures, molecules that could indicate life, while radio telescopes keep their ears glued to space, waiting to pick up some alien transmission. But so far the silence is deafening. And it's precisely this silence that makes everything even more mysterious. Because with every new discovery of distant planets, the question only grows stronger. If life arose here, why couldn't it have arisen in other corners of the universe? And speaking of questions that defy logic, let's wrap up this journey with one of the greatest mysteries of all, the very beginning of the universe itself. If all these enigmas are already mind-blowing, the biggest one remains the fundamental question: how did it all begin? The most accepted theory today is the Big Bang. The idea that about 13.8 billion years ago, the entire universe was concentrated in a tiny, hot, and dense point that suddenly began to expand. But here's the intriguing detail. What happened before the Big Bang? Science still doesn't know. It's like having a movie that starts already in the middle, without the opening minutes. Some physicists suggest that time and space simply didn't exist before the Big Bang, so it wouldn't even make sense to ask what came before. Others raise bold hypotheses. Do we live in just one of many universes? Was the Big Bang just a cycle, a restart after a previous collapse? The fact is that the more we discover, the more we realize that the universe is a place full of secrets that challenge our logic and imagination. It's as if the cosmos is always one step ahead, provoking us to go further. And maybe that's what makes this journey so fascinating. The search never ends. There will always be a new mystery lurking, ready to remind us that we're still explorers facing an infinite ocean. Now I want to know, which of these space mysteries left you most jaw-dropped? Tell me in the comments. Give a like if you enjoyed this cosmic trip. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next dives into the unknown.